Hi everyone, it's Sherlock from Techmaster Academy. Today we're taking a look at setting up a WordPress website and then installing a theme on it and finally creating a page with integrations within this. To start with, well, obviously you need to have a WordPress website. If you are still starting to install WordPress or you have a little bit of trouble setting up your server, you can take a look at the other video that we recorded about this same topic. So there's a card on the top. You can go ahead and click on that, take a look at that, come back here and join me to start setting up WordPress, all the settings within the CMS, and also installing the theme and so on and so forth. So let's get started. So once I'm on my dashboard, there are a few things that I need to go with and check. Now, obviously there are certain plugins that come default from your hosting company, and you can basically decide to keep or delete any of them. We'll get to those one by one, but if you are not really familiar with WordPress backend, so this is basically all it. This is all your control panel on the left side. There are many things that we will use quite a lot, such as post pages, projects, appearance settings, and so on and so forth. But before anything, you will need to use a theme. Now, to access your themes, you can go through appearance, themes. Now you can see that I've already installed Divi theme on this very website. So if you have purchased a certain theme, you can go ahead and use upload here to upload the theme file and go ahead and install it. However, such as this, however, if you're not going to spend any money on the theme, it's still absolutely fine. There are a lot of very nice themes that nowadays, basically WordPress builders have been providing people with. This is a good example of those. And I also always recommend everyone that even if you install another theme, make sure that you keep one of the default themes just in case your theme breaks, your content doesn't go all over the place. So there's a backup theme that can sort of jump in and you can use that to organize your content. So make sure that you keep that. Having installed your theme, you can go ahead and set that. We will get to Divi settings in a second, but before that, something I personally do is to go through the plugins and also the actual settings of WordPress. Now take a look at plugins. There might be a few plugins that you don't really need, or you might actually see, you might be lucky and you might see something that you would really like. For example, here I have 3 pre-installed plugins. One of them is deactivated Jetpack by WordPress, and I don't really need that because I'm going to use other basically plugins to answer my needs for the same type of things that Jetpack does. So I'm going to basically delete that. Yes, you do need to delete the plugins that you don't need, because every piece of data that is added to your server can slow your website down. So if there's something that you don't need, be it a plugin, image, or anything, delete it, get rid of it. There is a misconception that you can upload many things in your media section and keep it, but if you're not using it, it's not going to affect your website. No, it does. So make sure that there's nothing like, let's say, check it every month or so for check your media section to see if there are any unwanted images, unwanted content that you need to get rid of, and go ahead and clean that up. Now, getting to the posts and sections, your pages are obviously the main pages of your website. So by default, there are 2 pages here. One would be a privacy policy page that basically is sort of a draft that WordPress creates for everyone, and it's actually very useful text. So if you don't really have a privacy policy, perhaps this template can be very helpful to you. And also a sample page, we can take a look at that here. Okay, and then there is a sample page here. You can see that Divi elements are already here because I've installed Divi. And this is an example page, so on and so forth. So we can get rid of that. Later, you will see that you'll basically not need this page because we're going to create multiple custom pages, so you can go ahead and remove that. Again, one more thing that I need to remind everyone is that every time you log into your WordPress, come to your pages and take a look at your trash section. And if there is anything in trash, make sure that you empty that, because again, that is unwanted data that can slow your servers down and can be quite problematic, especially when you have very high volume of traffic from your business. Let's get to appearance. Now, we went through themes. Customize is basically the section where you get the chance to customize the generic settings for the graphics of your website. We will get to that when we are customizing certain pages, because right now we don't really have a page to play with, so we'll leave that aside. Widgets, there are a lot of widgets that are useful for your business. One of the main reasons WordPress has the upper hand compared to ClickFunnels or many other front-end development platforms is that it allows for widgets, and widgets can be basically programmed by any third-party company. So the sky's the limit. Like if you really want to search within WordPress widgets, you will need maybe a couple of years to go through all of them. Now, before I get started with building a page, I need to set up my theme. So in this case, I'm using Divi. So you could consider this as a sort of a tutorial in Divi as well. Now, Divi gives you the option to set the logo and then actually play with the size of the logo and the gap within the logo and the margins on top and bottom of the logo from the appearance customized section. But basically this can be quite simple, uploading your logo here, and then you can manage the size and everything else somewhere else. Enable Divi Gallery. This would basically create a collection of the images and the content that you upload. If you take a look at this here, enable Divi Gallery. Enable this if you want to replace the WordPress default gallery with the Divi style gallery. So it is quite interesting. It is something nice to play with. So I'm going to turn this on. This basically gives you more features than the usual media section of WordPress. So I would definitely recommend that. Now, if you are building this for your own business, obviously you have a certain set of colors, so you can go ahead and change these color presets. So every time you want to change the color of an element, you don't need to search for your hex codes, and you will basically have all of your own business brand colors here, so you can select from them. Grab the first post image. This basically takes the image that you have posted with inside your blog post, and it will enlarge it on top. I personally don't do it because I don't like the looks of it. Try and play with this, see how your work will look in the end. Blog style mode basically simplifies everything into centralizing content. If you're doing a website here, you don't really want to turn that on. I will go rather quickly through the things that we need. So basically use Google fonts. Absolutely, they are very useful these days, so you don't really need to buy fonts anymore because they're Google and they're free. There are certain icons that you can select to show at the bottom of the page or not, so we will take a look at those later. I'm going to turn a couple of them off because Google Plus, sorry, that is dead. Instagram, sure. Twitter, absolutely. And RSS icon, perhaps not. And then if there are certain preset profile URLs that you want to use for your social media, you can insert them here. So then later when you want to add and use these social sharing or social following elements within Divi, you don't need to set the URLs again. So good, we are pretty much set with the basic settings of Divi. I'm going to add the Google font subsets. I'm going to add a back to top button. It's a very nice feature, I really like it. And that's it. You can go ahead and save changes. There are many other settings that you can basically go ahead and play with that they don't really fit here. I'm going to record another video on Divi and basically how to set up Divi for a certain project that you have in mind. But just to make my life easy, as I'm going to start building a page, I'm going to go to Builder section, to Advanced, and I'm going to turn the Classic editor on, and that is just because sometimes the visual builder does not really respond as fast as that you want. Depends on basically your website, on your server, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just enable the Classic editor just in case I need to go and start editing some things from the back end. I'm going to save this, and we are ready to build our first page. Okay, so we go to Pages, Add New. I'm going to select the name for my page. Now in this case, this is going to be our home page. And as you can see, we're going to have a permalink generated for this page. Now we are going to go through the settings. I just want to show you how easy it is to create a page, and basically you can choose to publish later, add content, how you want to add content, and so on and so forth. You see that this page right now has the permalink http //www.momoody.com/home. Now, is that something I want people to see when they go to, when they want to enter my basically the permalink to access my homepage? No. Later I'm going to show you how you can basically change the homepage to whatever page that you select. So I'm going to publish this. And now I'm going to go to settings and Divi in WordPress to basically check everything up. Now, if you remember, if you have seen the other video, we talked about the site title and tagline. This is possible to be customized from here. We are in settings, general section. The things that you need to be wary of: first, the administrator email address. Definitely make sure that that is a valid email address. Otherwise, if your site breaks down in any way, well, you will have no way of recovering it. Membership section, obviously, as the name suggests, if you want to build a membership website, this is an option that you need to basically check and select what the role of the new user will be. This website does not need a membership panel, so I'm going to turn that off. You can select your language, time zone, the date format, and so on and so forth. And depending on the features that your hosting company give you, there are certain options for caching and many other things that may be available for you, such as coming soon page. Now I'm going to save my settings here, and I'm going to head to the reading section. And that is just because I want to show you how you can select a certain page to be your homepage. So when people, in case of this website, when people enter momoody.com, what page they're going to see first. Now you see that right now your homepage displays your latest post. I don't want that. I want it to be a static page, and my homepage is going to be the page that we just created, home. And I'm going to save this. And before we go back to editing our homepage, I'm going to ask you to please check this before it ruins all of the address links in your website. Go to permalink section and check to see what settings are there for the new pages that are being generated, how the permalinks are being formulated. Now, WordPress can depending on the installation mode, can be adding multiple elements such as post name, hour, minute, post ID, and many other options here to the to the link that is generating for your new page. Now, in this case, we just wanted to have the post name afterwards. So if the name of the post or name of the page is home, is going to be momoody.com/home or /about us or /anything else. I'm going to save that changes. And now we can head back to editing our page. I'm going to home now because I am using Divi, and if you remember, I enabled the classic editor. The classic editor is going to populate here. I'm going to first choose that, yes, I want to use the Divi builder for this. Would you have other options? Yes, absolutely. You can still install a theme such as Divi and install another builder such as Elementor, which is a plugin, and then you have the option to select if you want to use Divi as a builder or Elementor as a builder. That's totally up to you. I have to tell you this because they are both quite heavy and bulky in size. I do not recommend you do that. So only select, the tool that you really want to use and you're the most comfortable with, and use that all along the way. We're going to select use a Divi builder, and as you can see, it's giving me 3 options. Now the first option is to build from scratch, and that's usually the way I go. But if you're in a hurry, if you want the page up right now, you just have the content, you don't really want to play around with selecting the sizes and margins and everything else, you can go ahead and choose a pre-made layout. Now there are many layouts that Divi provides you with. For this example, I'm basically going to select something very simple because I'm going to modify it and integrate something into that later. Now this looks like a very simple layout. It's good enough. and I'm going to select one of the pages here, whichever that looks best for my project. Now in this case, I'm going to go with this and click use this layout. As you can see, Divi will be importing the content, the images, and everything else into your website. And the next time you go to your page, you're going to see a complete page with all this, that content inside it. And as you can see, we are in the backend in the classic editor of Divi theme, and you can see all the content that has been imported. Now, be careful, make sure that every time you're in the backend, before you leave the backend, you update your page, because it happens very often that when you switch from the classic editor to the front-end builder, some content is lost if it's not saved. So it could cause some problems for you. So I'm going to update. And now we can take a look at it on the front end using the front-end builder. Okay, and yes, as you can see, all the placeholders are there, the lower some text, there are some rolling numbers that are set here, some images. And now all I need to do is to go and replace some of this with some of my own, and my page will be ready. Guys, please make sure that you watch our next video. I'm going to show you how to actually design a page, the design elements that you need to know in order to have a high converting page, especially when it comes to sales pages. Also, we are going to soon have a video on integrations with Zoom, MailChimp, and many other CRMs that perhaps you might be using for your business. So, and also if you have any suggestions, any questions that you have about the tools that you're using, make sure you leave a comment for us, and we are going to record a video for that as well.